Good afternoon, my dungeon boss brethren. Here we are, about 2 months since my last post. Figured we'd do a quick little 2024 year in review. For anybody that is new to the channel or new to the game, this will give you a little update in terms of where things have gone in the last year and what you can expect for 2025. So, what I've been doing the last 2 months, really a whole lot of nothing. If you look at the events, you see things like Season of the Fire Elf. Okay, great. So what? My PvP rewards are going to be Nimrio. Don't care about that. Nimrio is 6 stars, for example. It's been like that for months and months and months, where the PvP rewards are not even worth attempting. So, as you can see from my screen, well, reloading now, but I don't really need the tokens. The tokens are just going to go into gems. And if you look at my gem count, I don't need any gems. So have a quick gander here. You'll see that I have 200,000 gems. And you're probably thinking, why don't you spend those things? Well, I had been hoarding them for various events where I would actually use them to refresh dungeons, to, get new heroes and new stuff, new anything, worthful anything. And that's come down to a big nothing. So the most gems that I've ever spent at one time is maybe about 15,000 for one of the new heroes that came out that I needed to run dungeons for. I will spend a good couple, two, three gems on the event dungeon down here, Toy Mountain. So I'll refresh that one a number of times to round out 6 stars on Jin. That is all that I have to look forward to for the entirety of Winterfest. There's really not much else to go on. Figured grinding that enough will give me all of the event currency that I need. But that's neither here nor there. So, what have we accomplished in the last year? Well, so let's look at some personal accolades first. So, hero roster power. So, in 1 year of playing, played super aggressive the first few months, if you recall my return to the game. And then as I reached level cap, then I started to trail off because there is less and less and less to do, less compulsion to play the game. Um, so my roster power is still fairly low, all things considered, because I'm not grinding as much stuff. So top 500, I guess that's something. Lifetime trophies, that's the PvP. Again, started out not doing any PvP, then I started doing a lot of PvP, and now I don't do any PvP. Um, Middle of the road, 283. Dungeons completed. Finally cracked the top 200. I ran this one pretty hard for the first couple of months, and then after I finished the storylines on everybody else, and there wasn't dungeons to run, that sort of trailed off. But this has slowly gotten a little bit higher and higher and higher. Goal is to get into the top 100. Didn't realize that the game would go into the abyss before that happened. All things considered, I'm not that far off from the top 100 if I played the amount that I played when I first returned to the game. This would be easily doable. Um, However, I'm not interested in that anymore at the moment. Tower, been doing that daily. Cracked top 100 in that. It's a little bit of a surprise there. So see how far of a gap I got. 100 is 3,100. So not a ton in the way of separation there. Um, Comparatively to everybody else, running this for a little bit while longer, and that should actually grow pretty good before starting and getting into the 4 or 5,000 plus. It's actually doing pretty good on there. Boss points, 296. I am coming around on this here. So top 100, 1340. I'm a little bit off on that yet. Um, when we look at boss points, the one that bugged me the most, this is now the third time that I'm working on flawless. I legitimately only missed my quest one time in the entirety of when I returned to the game. That was maybe a month or two in. I accidentally missed one. Other times it reset because I did my quest too close to midnight after the reset occurred. There was a notable bug in there where if you basically complete your quests right after midnight, something happens and you lose that progress, and that happened to me a couple of times. The most recent time happened when I was in the upper 80s. I had to do a whole thing again. So I'm down to 2 more days before I get flawless. That's going to be another 100. That puts me at 1290, not quite in the top 100. Most of the stuff that's still holding me back is some of these PvP ones here. So like Legendary Conqueror, with all the botting that's going on, I never even bothered to try. I've been very high in the top 100 before, but I simply don't have the time to compete against a botter, and I'm not going to bot myself. Immovable, I've long since felt that that's almost impossible to get since the newer PvP style. I haven't found a perfect defense, even the ones that are useful for getting that particular achievement without a lot of people helping you out, specifically losing. Um, you could lose 10 times in a season, but losing 10 times in a row requires just a perfect storm of events. And truthfully, it has not happened. I'm not expecting it to happen. And I don't even bother with revenge attacks, so that one hasn't happened. So I don't expect my boss points to get me into the top 100 anytime soon. Um, but that's that. As far as the game goes, I made a couple of editorial posts on this before. The game is, for all intents, is dead, if you ask me. The events are on autopilot. The developers are completely AWOL. Communication on Discord is gone. I've been ghosted from devs from the start, offered to promote the game as much as or little as they like. Nobody wanted anything to do with me. We haven't had any new features in months, probably like 8 months. We haven't had any new heroes in, and not even any new heroes, period, but even any re-release heroes in also like 8 months. So the theory was that they got their ROI out of this game. It made the little bit of money that they wanted, and now they're just going to quietly end of life it, similar to Elder Scrolls Legends. So we're about 1 year into the Elder Scrolls Legends situation where this game will stay online for another 3 or 4 years, and then they'll just ultimately announce a sunset date. So if you play Elder Scrolls Legend, that game is about to go offline. Get your kicks in now if you wanted to. But I feel like that's going to be the same thing here. There's absolutely no movement on this game. They even said, I think, at their shareholder meeting that they're putting all of their video game resources into their paired accounts. So they want to create their, Squid Games mobile app and Stranger Things mobile app, which, because those are their marquee properties, and this year's just some random game that they bought, which I think was a huge misstep. It should have just stayed with the developer who was actually going to make the game, profit off the game, and they totally ruined it. And here we are now. So it's a shell of what it once was. If you're looking at getting into this game long term, I might recommend rethinking your choices after you get past the initial phase of having stuff to do. You're going to run into things where you have nothing to do, and you find yourself doing daily quests for 15 minutes a day for months on end with no end in sight. So, because I'm a man of my word, I'm going to stick around for another year just doing that same thing. Um, for better or worse, I'm going to participate for another year, and then if nothing happens in the next year, then at this time in 2025, then I will be quitting. And that'll be that because they will have completely ruined the game that I like. I will do one other video that's going to come up here, and that is to spend my gems. I'm going to maybe take a karmatic approach to things and say, maybe if I were to blow all of my gems, then the bad voodoo karma will come back at me and sort of laugh at me because then there'll be some new event or new thing where I actually need gems to spend and I won't have any then. So in that case, I will have taken one for the entire dungeon boss community, and for that you will um, you know, you can thank me at another time. But the goal is ultimately to see another thing is to prove um, however many gems you have, how many portal summons you do, will that actually matter? And I ran some numbers on this before in terms of the percent chance, and you know, you're looking at 80% chance for just bronze heroes, which is just a rehash of gems back into the account. And then from there, getting, let's say, gold and legendary tokens. You can't spot farm. So, what are the odds that you're actually able to 6-star anybody? I would wager that even with 200,000 gems, would take even a modest legendary hero. Let's say I even have 200 tokens out of 250. I bet you I don't 6-star them. I bet you I don't get a single legendary hero 5 times out of 200,000 gems. So if you look at 200,000 gems, the total number of raw pulls there is only, 65, 66 pulls in the grand scheme of things. So that the odds that I get that many legendary or gold tokens, it's pretty negligible. So you'll see exactly how much of a waste of gems it is and why I've not done it up to this point here. I was hoping to be able to just spend gems on meaningful things, like maybe crafting epic runes, but they have literally no intent of developing runes at this point. They dangled that carrot in our face 8, 9 months ago and never spoke a word of it again. So that's where we are. We're kind of just plugging along. There's really no hope for anybody. There is nothing to do other than just play. Again, the events are on autopilot. Um, they seem like they're also random because we get Firefest and Nature Fest 3, 4 times a year, which is absolutely ridiculous. They're not even set up on any type of cadence. The PvP rewards are, um, I don't know if those are random or if they're purposely trolling us with rewards like Torchy, who you can just 6-star with whatever. So anytime there's a bronze hero in the PvP reward, like I said, it's just trolling us. So at the very least, give us silver so we have something to level up. But um, so that's kind of where we stand in the year. We had a good start to the year where there's still some interest in the game from a developmental standpoint to essentially radio silence, and that's about it. We've had a number of events like this. No new heroes to unlock with the calendar events, which is used to be one of the marquee events of that. Now what do we get for the calendar? Um, you get yay, some tokens that we don't need, and maybe I'm being a little bit harsh on people that maybe don't have a 6-star Grognog, and I get it, but um, the last calendar event before this was literally just open it up and get some junk loot like some potions and some event currency, just absolute trash. Even the lesser calendar events should have something worth doing, make people want to farm gold tokens, and there's no reason to do that. So that's me being about as jaded as I can be. Um, I will get around to doing my gem spending, hopefully in the next week or so. So stay tuned for that. Um, Maybe we'll take wagers on what we think is going to happen, and then ride off into the sunset over the next 12 months and see if anything actually happens. So I'll be around if anybody wants to, you know, stop in and say hi, whatever. I'll be there, doing my dailies every day. I'm not going to be active in chat because I'll only be online 15 minutes a day, but um, I'll be there. So that's me, Darth Craig, signing off for 2024. Hope everybody has a happy new year, and if you have a resolution, at least keep it until the second, or maybe get through the weekend. But have a happy new year. Stay safe, everybody. We will see you again next time. Take care. Bye bye.
Thank you for watching, and remember, I make YouTube videos for the American working man, because that's what I am, and that's who I care about.